I think there's maybe more drama with mine, so maybe you just want to give me yours, which I'm guessing is a no.
I'm torn. Like, it's funny, when I started my notes, I just preview had yeses in here. Just automatically, because of course I would. And when we had our 2-player thing, it was fun. You know, I actually had fun 2-player. It reminded me of the Manhattanites days, you know, like playing on the GameCube.
I totally forgot about the team
Madden,
name. Yeah, that's fantastic.
You know?
Fantastic. The Manhattanites. That's great.
Yeah. That was so awesome. Or the Harlemites.
06 NBA Live.
Harlemites.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was Harlemites, yeah.
Yeah, because we had one on each. Yeah. Harlemites. Manhattan Harlemites.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, so I had fun during that, but like playing by myself, like the passing was such a struggle. And as much as I loved this as a kid, it just felt so dated. Like we just played the original Madden and experienced like, the original Madden versus current Madden and how that felt, and just, you know, even Tecmo Bowl, it just, I don't know, compared to those, it just doesn't. I guess in my mind, this would have been the top coming in. Like if you'd asked me a month ago, like, yes, NES football. We talked about it so much, like I couldn't play it. Like it's a yes. As a kid, it was a yes. But like, did I have fun in a 2-player mode? Yes. In a 1-player mode, no. Would I recommend it? No. But if they remastered it right now, it'd probably be better. You know, it'd probably be easier.
If you remastered it, you would have Madden.
Yeah, I mean, well, even the same diagonal, you know, but just made the passing easier, maybe like an icon, so it was like something. I don't know, made it more intuitive.
So yeah, kept the retro vibe.
Kept the retro vibe.
Just did some smarter things with the. Yeah,
but I'm torn, man. It's because again, I loved it as a kid. We're playing it on the couch. I'm having fun, but that passing makes me want to just put it down, and it's hard for me to bless it when I want to do that.
Right. Yeah, man, I feel all that for sure. Well, I guess give me a final answer.
I feel like I can't I feel like turning my back on it would be like turning my back on a child. So I'll give a blessing on it from like with that whole like an honorary doctorate degree. Like you served a place, so and you were meaningful for things. So I'll give you a blessing, but we both know
for what you were when you were. Yeah.
Exactly, but I'm not going back and playing this again.
Okay, yeah, I mean, it's interesting to hear you say, like, because, yeah, same thing. I mean, I'm clearly coming in with, like, a fucking dump truck of nostalgia for this game, and, like,
yeah.
I don't normally put a lot of, like, modern context on my determination for this. Like, I'm never here going, I'm telling, the blessing does not mean to me, this is a great game in fucking 2024. Like, I'm not trying to bring it forward into the current gaming landscape and say whether it's worth playing now. I'm saying whether it was worth playing then and deserves to be considered an NES game of, you know, merit. And so, you know, it's, yeah, like my biggest problem with it, I guess, is, I mean, sure way to say this, a bigger problem with it is the AI. It's so dumb. Like, and honestly,
so and I was fly off the screen.
Yeah, and I was winning. So it's not like AI limited dumb fucking me. It's like so dumb. Like there were so many times where like the guy would they would be running and like I would not be anywhere near him, and they would just run out of bounds. And it's like, what the fuck did you do that for? Like, you know. So like, there's just a lot of dumb shit, and like, yeah, the blockers clearly yours and theirs doing dumb shit all the time. Man. It's a lot of stupid AI that is like really stupid. And like, you know, they do dumb shit in Tecmo too, but it's simplified more there. So like their AI limitations aren't as on display because this is, again, so much more predicated on like the strategy and like you have more time to literally see everyone fucking up because it's moving slower. So like, you know, it's a tougher context for probably the same level of AI. It just feels worse because you're feeling more of it, you know what I mean? And that is really where like, I'm leaning towards I don't think so, and that is why, because the fucking AI is so bad. But yeah, that, I mean, we get into the 2-player co-op and like it's just so cool. And like
you can get up and block and you communicating.
It's so fucking good, you know? It's so good. And honestly, like I had written down here I don't think so, but I think playing the 2-player thing reminded me of like just how it's just so fucking good. And
that's why I said, like, I really think this was made for the 4-player. This was made for a co-op experience. Like, to just, you can play it alone, but it was not made with that in mind.
The 1-player stuff, yeah, dude. I mean, I was vaping most of those games. Like, I had more than one like 70-0 game. Like, I just kicked the fuck out. Like, I kicked the fuck out of Miami. But a lot of it's because like the sacking's too easy too. Like, if you know, like I said, there's that. Even if I'm not using,
if you're picking certain plays,
well, even that. I mean, yes, that one play is almost an automatic sack just because of the way the lineup is, and your first switch is always to that guy that's just going to run right over the center and fucking sack him before he can even get to the top of his drop back. But also, quarterback runs around forever on most plays. So like, as long as you can get a semi good switch, I'd get a sack on at least 75% of fucking passing plays. Most games would end and they would have negative passing yards. Net passing yards because
that's
of sacks,
funny.
You know,
like it's funny you say that because when in modern football, I'm playing Madden, I'm always switching. Like pre snap, like post snap, I'm switching. In this game, I felt like I could never switch quick, so I just never did. I would just play as who they left me as because I'm like, all right, I can't.
It's interesting
until like somebody's like. And the play's progressing, then I'm switching. But like trying to switch to the man closest for a sack, I can never get there quick enough. So I just didn't even try.
It's funny that you say that because there is a strat. Like because here's the thing: because of the way you switch that A and B button, if you don't hit that right, you just dive. So what you can often do if you're not careful is at the start of a play, you can basically just because they usually have you as like a linebacker or a secondary person. If you don't do the switch right, and just dive, you take a guy in your back 7 out of the play. And like you can get smoked doing that. So
I know.
Yeah. So you gotta be super careful to make sure you're switching. And I also would be very careful. So at least it's a jump if you hit B to not be hitting a direction when I'm switching. You know what I mean? So it's not a dive, it's a jump at least. So it never occurred to me to mention that, but that is you do have to be cognizant of that, and it's a conscious thing. But once again, I would often, also usually wait a second too. So there is a player who's closer to the quarterback. So the computer at least like makes the switch happen. And like, I don't know the math behind that either too, but like, you know, we were trying to do that onside kick. It just wouldn't, like, it won't always switch to the player closest to the ball, or it's not always determining where, like, the closest to the ball, like in the onside kick, it's flying through the air. So maybe you're not, like, you're trying to switch to the guy closest to where the ball is going to go, not where it is. And that's tough. You know what I mean? So like, there's just a lot of nuanced shit. And that is a perfect example of shit that can be streamlined in a remake without losing the retro vibe of it, you know? So yeah, dude, I was totally leaning towards not giving it the fucking blessing, but talking about that 2-player, just experiencing that 2-player thing, just how it's so good. It's so good. We've got to figure out. Can you imagine trying to figure that out on Parsec? How long that would take? But we've got to figure out a way to play 4-player and do that in the first time in our lives. It's got to be so much fun. We just got to figure it out. We got to prioritize doing that. We'll bring on one of the Lorik disciples and fucking play with Jab, and fucking we got to figure out how to do it because it's just so much fun and so fucking good.
Nice.
Word. So we game mapped NES Play Action Football as best we could. I hope you enjoyed it, Lorik disciples.